Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Facundo. To start, I wanted to make a joke or try something new. If it's not the first time that you are seeing me presenting at a conference, you probably already saw this, but I will count to three. And when I get to three, you have to scream, shout, make noise, applause, everything. So the people that is outside thinks that they are missing something, you know, so they feel the FOMO. And we can get people also like waking up after lunch because it's like a complicated time for the presentation probably. If you join, that will be great. So 1, 2, 3. Thank you, it worked. Thank you very much. Cool, so let's start. My name is Facundo Giuliani, I'm from Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm the Solutions Engineering Team Manager at Storyblok. You will hear about Storyblok during this talk. I'm one of the organizers of React Buenos Aires, the biggest React developer community in Argentina. We organize monthly meetups, so if you are visiting the country, let me know and we can invite you. And I also organize DevSummit AR from Argentina, which is another developer community, and we are organizing meetups every now and then. I think I have a mark on this conference, a record mark, let's say. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I was like the only person that presented a talk at each one of the different editions of React Miami, so all the 4 years. Thank you very much. I was expecting that, that's what I told you, all the slides. No, thank you. But yeah, I do that because, like, to be honest, this is an amazing conference with a really cool vibe. The organizers are great, so please then talk to Michelle and the rest of the team. They are doing an amazing job. Again, so my talk today is about delivery. I use the DoorDash example because I find some analogies between delivering food and delivering content on the web. And well, I mean, when you are ordering food, you want the food to come fast home, to get the food that you order, to find some new options if you are evaluating and you don't know what to eat. And I think that kind of the same happens with the web, right? I mean, when you are browsing the web, when you are looking for a specific page or you want to get some content, you want the content to be fast. I mean, to get that content fast to your browser. You want it to be reliable. I mean, that the content has to be there when you want it to be. The same with available. I mean, the content, you want it to have available there. Content or any type of website, honestly. I will focus on the content websites today because that's kind of, I mean, you will see the examples that I will use related to Storyblok, and probably it's more tailored to that, but it applies to any website, basically. Any website that you are browsing, and in general that you browse and you visit, you want it to be customized also because you want them to talk to you. I mean, to feel that the website is talking to you or is covering your needs, let's say. Why is that important, or why I wanted to focus on that? So just to share some numbers with you, 40% of the people abandon a website if the website takes more than 3 seconds to load. Yeah, 3 minutes is like, yeah. I don't know, in 3 minutes you can do many things, but well, if you wait for more than 3 seconds, 40% of the people might be abandoning your website. So if you are trying to sell something, that's something that you have to consider, right? Other numbers, 88% of the people or consumers might not come back to a website if they had a bad experience. So again, speaking about the time that it takes to load the website, how you are showing the content to them, if it's a customized experience or not, it might affect the experience on the people, and the people won't get back to your website to buy the stuff that you are selling or things like that. 61% of the people expect the brands to tailor the experiences or your experience on their website based on your preferences. Your preferences being from where you live to what kind of music you like to listen to, right? So these are stats or things that we have to consider at the moment of creating a website, because at the end of the day, we want the people to visit our websites, right? So what we can do or what we can evaluate or analyze on our website or the different experiences that we are crafting, let's say. Today we focus on certain concepts, which are the performance of our website, the SEO aspects of our website, SEO being a search engine optimization, or what the search engines are considering from our websites and web pages at the moment of ranking them on the searches that you use on the different search engines, the content that we are delivering through our websites, and the personalization that we are applying to the experiences that we are presenting to the visitors of our websites. So how we can work on these aspects, or how we can improve these aspects, let's say. For today, I took two tools that I'm going to focus on, and different functionalities and features that those tools offers us. One is a framework, Next.js, and the other one is Storyblok, which is a headless content management system. I will explain a little bit more about Storyblok later. I just want to know if everyone knows what Next.js is or how it works here. If you can raise your hand if you never used Next.js or you don't know how it works, just to know how much of an introduction I should. Yeah, okay, well. How about Storyblok? Do you know what Storyblok is? If you've been here yesterday and you probably walk around, you saw me, and you already know what Storyblok is. Probably? No? Okay, well, this is going to be cool and fun and helpful, I hope. I would do an introduction of a Storyblok. Well, Next.js is a framework, a React-based framework that you can use to, among different things, you can use it to render the content or render your websites on the server. I mean, you can execute processes to pre-render content before the visitors are coming to your website, so you can have pages available for the visitors when they are coming to your website. The content was pre-generated, so you don't need to wait for the content to be generated for every request that you are getting. We will talk about some of the patterns, let's say, or the techniques that you can use for that. But Storyblok is a content management system. It's a platform that you can use to create and manage content. We say that it's called headless content management system because we are decoupling the presentation layer of the content with the administration layer, or the creation part, let's say. So basically, Storyblok is a tool that provides features, functionalities to mainly the non-technical people to create and manage content, and that content that the people is creating will be exposed on the websites that we, the developers, are creating in the way that we prefer. I'm going to focus today on React and Next.js because this is React Miami, but you can use any front-end framework, any technology. If you want to create a mobile application, you can consume the content from Storyblok as a platform using the APIs that the platform provides to expose that content and use that content in the way that you prefer. So we have, I would say, the best of two worlds, because we are providing an easy-to-use tool to the non-technical people to create and manage the content, and on the other hand, we have the flexibility of being able to pick any technology stack, any framework, any programming language that we want, and the definitions that we want to set for our websites and our projects. This is, well, an image that I wanted to share related to this administration part, or what the non-technical users are going to see. So marketers, content creators, any kind of user for any kind of company can come to Storyblok and have a real-time preview of the content that they are creating, because the tool will connect to our website or an instance of our website and show in real time how the content that the people is creating is going to look like before they actually publish the content, or without the need of running any process or triggering a build process or something like that, or even worse, having to submit a Jira ticket that says, can you change this title in this landing page? So marketing team, go and do it yourself, because we have to do better things to do, like playing Call of Duty. I don't know. No, sorry. I mean, investing the time on researching on new technologies and blah, 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 all the things that the developers do. So I want to focus on certain aspects today. The first one is about the content has to be available when it's needed. I was talking before about these different techniques or features or functionalities that Next.js offers, but one of them, or probably an aspect that we can evaluate, is caching the content. If we should try to cache as much content or as many pages as we can, pre-rendering those pages and caching them so they are available for all the visitors, and we don't have to re-render the same page over and over again for every person that is visiting our website. So we should cache at least the most visited pages from our website, eventually or ideally all of them, right? Depending on, of course, the architecture that we have, the infrastructure that we have available, and etc. We should fetch content that is also cached and is globally available. In the case of a Storyblok, that's built on top of AWS CloudFront, but if you are using other platforms to manage the content or manage the databases that you are using for your project, if that content is available like in different parts of the world using the CDN, like a content delivery network, and is cached and replicated on multiple locations, it will be available faster for you to consume it and to use it, and then to generate the pages that you are going to cache so they are available for all the visitors from your website. In addition to that, Next.js offers static site generation, which is rendering the pages prior to the users visiting them at build time. So you can execute a build process that is going to render or generate certain pages from your website, or all of them, again, with certain parameters and certain criteria, and those pages will be generated statically, let's say, or we are going to build them in a static way. So these pages will be available for the visitors prior to them typing on the browser our URL and visiting our page. So if I have the possibility of, let's say, creating a blog and pre-generating all the blog posts before the people is coming to my website, when a user wants to read a blog post, and if it was previously generated, it will load faster on their website, so they will have a better experience. And these pages that we are pre-rendering, they can be cached too, or Next.js is caching them for you. So we are putting like a second layer, let's say, of pre-generation and pre-availability for the people, again, with the aim of providing the best experience possible at the moment of visiting our website. This list of pages that we are going to manage or to generate can be defined, so if we don't want to build all the pages that are part of our website, we can pick a subset of those pages. And well, I mean, we can select which pages or which items, let's say, or parts of our website we want to generate on this build process that we are running, because as you can imagine, the more pages that we have to render, the more time that this build process will take, and depending on how often we are running this build process, it's an aspect that we need to consider as an organization and a team, right? But related to this, what I wanted to show you is, well, some of the concepts or the features that Next.js provides for you. There's a function called generate static params that you can use to define what are the pages that you are going to pre-render or pre-generate at the moment of running this build process. So in this example that I'm sharing, what you can see is that we are retrieving all the posts for the blog section of my website, let's say, and I will run this process for each one of the posts. So I'm building a static version of each one of these blog posts from my website, so they are available prior to the users visiting the website. So when they want to read a particular blog post, it will be already rendered, so they don't have to wait for the blog post to be rendered and to be available. Next.js also added or launched this other method or functionality, which is called the incremental static regeneration, which allows us to pre-render the content, pre-render the pages in the background while the people is visiting the pages that were pre-generated and pre-cached, let's say, in the case that the content changed. And we don't need to do that for all the pages of the website. So let's use the same example of the blog post. There was a typo on one of the blog posts or an image that we want to change. I'm changing it in different ways, let's say using a content management system as a Storyblok. So incremental static regeneration will allow me to just regenerate that particular blog post that was updated, and in the background while the users are seeing the older version of the blog post, let's say. So we don't affect the navigation experience of the users. So this could be an example of using incremental static regeneration. You can define a revalidate value, which is in seconds. In this example, it will mean that every 60 or after 60 seconds, a page is considered old and needs to be regenerated, let's say. But the cool thing about incremental static regeneration is that you can trigger it on demand, let's say. So you can create a server function using Next.js that can be executed by, let's say, a webhook being triggered from an external process. And you can define which pages you want to revalidate or regenerate, let's say. Using the example of a Storyblok, and I wanted to show you, let me see if you can see the screen. This is a Storyblok, and we will see later the visual editor, but the way on how Storyblok manages the different pages is following this folder structure, very similar to a file system. So you have the pages or the different items, and you have different folders. So if you have a structure like this, you can say that whenever you are publishing new content or editing content related to a particular page that is part of a folder, you can trigger a webhook process that will call this server function and will regenerate only the pages from the folder that you want to regenerate. So you know that you are going to only regenerate the content that is being affected by the content that you are creating or editing, and you are not rebuilding the whole website, right? Prefetching is another functionality that Next.js is offering us. So when the users are visiting the website, if there are links on the page that they are visiting, when those links are on the viewport, I mean on the screen of my device, Next.js will start pre-rendering the pages that those links are pointing to, so I don't have to wait for the page to render when I'm clicking on the go to this page button, let's say. So if I use the Next.js link component that is provided by the framework, if I'm visiting a website, let's say, that has a button that redirects the user to the blog, let's say, when my device screen is showing the blog button, let's say, Next.js will start generating the blog main page, let's say, even before I click on the blog button. So that will make it faster to the user, so they don't have to wait for the full page to be rendered when they are clicking the button to visit that page, right? Cool. Another aspect that I wanted to mention is improving the search engine optimization of our pages so they can be better positioned on the searches on the different search engines. Static site generation and server-side rendering are two things that Next.js offers to us. Static site generation, we already mentioned this, but server-side rendering is basically rendering the content on the server. These search engines crawlers, or these processes that analyzes the different aspects of a website to consider them at the moment of like returning the results of a search, they look for content that is generated on the server or pre-generated. If you're using React and using client-side rendering to render the content of your pages, all the content that is being generated on client-side, that won't be considered, or at least not as efficient as the server-side rendered content by the search engine crawlers. So that's something that you should consider, and you should manage, again, in a way that the content is available there for these crawlers from the search engines at the moment of analyzing your pages. Metadata management, there's a lot of information and metadata that you can define for your pages that is not visible to the user, but is analyzed by these search engines like Google or Bing, etc. So you, at the moment of defining this metadata, like the title of the page, the description, the OG images, you have to be clear. I mean, you have to use information that is valuable for these crawlers, let's say, or the search engines. So your pages are going to be better positioned when people is searching for different words or they are looking for something. So you should be descriptive at the moment of defining these metadata, these meta fields. Also the alternative text of images. The images can contain an alternative text that is used with different purposes, being SEO one of them, but also accessibility. I mean, if you are using a device that is helping you to, I don't know, a screen reader, for instance, the alternative text of the images is something that influences a lot the browsing experience of the people. And Next.js, in a way of making this work easier, is also providing another feature, which is the metadata that will help you to manage all these aspects. So if you are using like HTML, these are the tags that you are going to manage for the metadata that is going to configure the web pages of your website. This is how it's going to look like if you are using the metadata functionality that Next.js is offering to you, to the developers. So it's easier, it's more configurable, you can implement some more advanced techniques, let's say. Related to metadata, I wanted to show you that Storyblok also helps you to manage that. If you are creating pages with a Storyblok, this is an example website that I created. As I mentioned before, you have a real-time preview on the content that you are creating and how it is going to look like, which is on the left-hand side. And then I have the actual content that I created for my pages here, these different components, which are content structures that the developers define in Storyblok and that are used to manage the content for the visual representation or the React website that you are creating. But in addition to that, you can generate SEO metadata with Storyblok, and you can automatically generate it using AI, for instance. So a tool like Storyblok can make the work easier at the moment of defining the metadata for your content. The same with the images. I will show you quickly here. If you want to learn more about Storyblok, I will be outside, so you can come to me and we can discuss more about the platform. But I wanted to show you that if you are defining the alt text for the images that you are using on your website, you can generate the alt text using AI with the Storyblok, so making the work easier for mainly the content creators, the users that are going to be managing the content for your pages. Cool. The content structure and the organization, those are also like key aspects at the moment of evaluating your pages. So you should manage a consistent URL logic. The URLs of the different pages that you have on your website should follow a logic organization, let's say. The same with the content that you are using on your pages. I mentioned this in a Storyblok, but you have the possibility of organizing the content in components, like reusable components and nestable components. You can have components inside other components. So this is going to make the work easier for the people creating and managing the content, but also for the SEO purposes to the search engine crawlers to analyze your web pages. You should avoid broken links. You should consider like where your links and buttons are pointing, because that's something that gets affected at the moment of evaluating the pages. So having an internal link between the different pages using a content management system, for instance, will be helpful for that. And then generating a sitemap of your content. If you are using Next.js, there's a library that can help you to automatically generate the sitemap for your website. This is running a command, you can get the sitemap of your full website generated, and that will help to improve your SEO configuration. Image optimization, something that is also very important at the moment of creating content that you want it to perform, let's say. So you should try to reduce the image file sizes without sacrificing the visual quality, using some of the newer images formats like WebP, for instance. You can use techniques like lazy loading, where you are loading the images only when they are needed. So depending, again, on the viewport or the screen of your device, you can start loading the images when they are needed and not at the beginning of the load of the whole page. You can use responsive images. So if you have like devices with a smaller viewport or smaller screens, let's say, you don't have to load a gigantic image for them and reducing them. You should use like smaller pictures for that. And in order to follow all these guidelines, you can use the Next image component. So Next.js is offering a component that will make the work easier for you, managing the lazy loading, and managing the responsiveness of the images. You also can configure, for instance, a custom loader, so you can apply parameters to the images that are being loaded on your website using the Next.js component. If you are using a platform like Storyblok, a content management system that has an integrated asset manager, Storyblok has what we call an image service, where you can apply changes to or parameters to the URL of an image, and based on that, you can generate more performant versions of the image or resize the image on the fly and generate different versions of one same image file to perform better depending on the part of your website where you are using them. So for instance, if I add the parameter M, this PNG image will be automatically transformed into a WebP version. Sorry, I forgot to show this. I know that I'm over time, so 2 more minutes, sorry. If I wanted to show you that if I reload the page, sorry, you won't see the difference here. If I load the whole PNG file, you can see that it has 8 megabytes, If I apply this change and I add the parameter being M, I will generate the WebP version of this image, and as you can see, the file size was drastically reduced. I think that you can see it, right? Yeah, here you can see that now it's bytes. Finally, the last aspect, the personalization of the content. You should manage different content variants for the different types of users that are going to browse your website. So again, for instance, we are here in Miami, and you want to create content that is tailored to the people living in Miami, and the content that is tailored to people that is coming from the other places of the world, like me coming from Buenos Aires, Argentina, let's say. We are expecting different content for the different type of audiences, and those are things that you should consider at the moment of, again, creating these web experiences. A tool like Storyblok can help you with that, because you can create personalized content or different versions of the content that you are creating, so you can manage the different variants of this. I mean, like people from Miami or from another place, you can create the content and like try the different variants as part of the platform, and the people that will be creating the content, which can be developers or not, they can see the different variants or the different versions of the content and how they are going to look like prior to releasing your website or publishing the content. The same with languages or content that is specific to certain territories. If you are creating a website and you can translate the content to different languages, Storyblok allows you to do that using AI to automatically translate the content into different languages. You can tailor the content that you are creating to the language of the different type of audience that you want to target, or create content that is specific for certain countries, certain cities. And again, the experience that you are providing to the users is going to be more customized and better. I mean, you will feel that the website is talking to you. More things that you can evaluate if you have time. I imagine that you were thinking, when is the Ghibli Studio automatic generated image coming? Here it is. So you have here the Ghibli Studio too. You can try a tool like B0. B0 can help you to try in a fast way proof of concepts or ideas that you have in mind and to see if they are going to perform or not. The tool is amazing. Using this composable approach that I mentioned before, it's going to be easier for you to manage the content, but also easier for the people creating the content at the moment of replicating it, or at the moment of reusing it, or at the moment of creating new pages that are going to be delivered to the audience of the different type of users. I also recommend to evaluate integrations. Probably you are using platforms for e-commerce or digital asset management or different type of integrations with other platforms. This composable approach, let's say, will help you to evaluate the possibility of connecting the different platforms to, again, come up with a better experience for the end users and the visitors. And finally, thinking on this omni-channel experience, which means that as the Storyblok is a headless content management system and the content is available through an API, you can use it with any front-end implementation. So don't think only on the website that you are creating, but more on an integral experience through the different channels, like a mobile application, a desktop application, integrating the content on another website that you created, etc. So these are some tips that I thought that it would be interesting for you. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.